Hello, I'm Mirella.
And I'm Zoe.
Welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. Today we're going to talk about episode 4 of Cooking Crush. This is by far the loveliest episode of Cooking Crush.
Oh, look, it was just, I thought last episode, because I remember off doing an interview and he was like, you will need like a pillow to clutch and you'll be like kicking the air with your feet and stuff. And I was just like, yeah. And I thought last week was like that. But this week was like, okay, I know I'm going to describe this because I know, Morelli, you're going to know what I'm talking about, and hopefully other listeners will also know. But you know the scene in Strong Woman Bong Soon where he's like rolling around on the bed and he's like so giddy and in love and he's like kicking his feet and he's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so.
Uh-huh.
That was
Of
me.
course, was that you?
That was me watching the Cooking Crush episode this week. I was just like, oh my god,
Me
why are
too,
they
Zoe.
so fucking adorable?
Yeah, because if you think about it, not much happened, but somehow they have this effect on you. The way they just smile and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's really interesting because this is not like a high drama, full octane like scene. There's no like real suspense or like whatever. I mean, obviously there's going to be drama later. I mean, they've been angling at it sort of from the very first episode, the misunderstanding about what we assume is his mother, the violence that we've seen from the trailer from his father, like all of that's coming, obviously. But up until now, it's been fairly like easygoing, slight misunderstandings, and a little bit of drama in the kitchen. But other than that, it's really not, as you said, not much in the big way of stuff has happened. It's just been really, really sweet and funny and lovely.
Or maybe not yet. Maybe they're going to get together and it's going to be easy, like breathing, like falling, because they running towards each other at this point.
They are, but
And maybe they
keep,
get together and
yeah,
then something happens, like they are together and they have to get through all kinds of issues and complications together, but we still are yet to see Prem pull back because of Ten's dad.
yeah,
So
I know. And I mean, all I can think about is like the pilot trailer with the bit where like Prem is running from Ten and he's just like, like Ten has kind of betrayed him or something, and then he says about how he was lying too or something, and he was like, I know. So it's like, I mean, obviously, often the pilot trailers, as we know from say like Dangerous Romance, for example, are very, very, and also Not Me was another one that was so vastly different from what we actually ended up getting. You can't really take them as like a bible for what's gonna happen. It's just,
but I feel like up to this point that's basically been the gist of it.
yeah.
It's quite similar, but it's done much better, but not much changed if you really analyze what happened in the
No,
trailer
I
and
mean,
what
I'm suspecting we are going to get quite a bit of drama, but I'm
Mhm.
hoping it won't be like drama that pulls them apart. It'll be, as you said, drama they just have to get through together. But
I feel like in different dramas when they start by introducing the fact that the characters are interested in each other, but they have baggages, something is holding them back, there's always something intervening, and suddenly you feel like in this episode you felt like they were like running towards each other, and if something happens it feels like 10 is going to get closer to Prem, because Prem is the one who has more reservations and who considers that maybe he's not good enough, or
yeah.
maybe what he's doing makes him a bad person. And Ten is going to pursue him and
Mm.
reassure him that it's not, that it's okay, that he still wants him. But I was trying to say is that right now it feels so easy,
Mm.
and it feels um very dreamy and very romantic and easy. Basically, it feels easy.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like we we will not have time to brace ourselves for the moment when something bad happens to them, and it will be like something falling from the sky onto our heads. And I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, because you're like experiencing so much joy through them, and when they start hurting, it's going to be unpleasant.
Yeah, I feel like it'll sneak up on everybody, like you said. And
Hmm.
because we haven't realized, because we're not, like with other characters, you grow to love them through their diversity, through their struggle.
Hmm.
You want things to turn out well for them and everything. But as you said, we're just enjoying them. We're enjoying like how easy and how lovely this is, and how sweet it is, and how
That's so
funny and cute
interesting.
it is. And then because like we're becoming invested in them in this way, because like we want it to stay this way, we want it to stay this lovely and this cute and this sweet. And then when it goes to shit, which I feel like it's gonna happen, then we will be, yeah, as you said, devastated, but we won't be expecting it. Like we won't expect it to affect us in the way it's going to, because let's face it, how often in real life is stuff like this easy? Like we all let things get in the way, we all have like other outside dramas that maybe are.
Well, it depends. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you get involved, and then when you are already, if something happens fast, you get involved, and then issues start appearing because
Mm,
um you did not get accustomed with all the other person's problems
baggage, yeah.
and your own. But
Mm,
what I thought was interesting that you said is how it feels like they were falling for each other very easily, and it sometimes it takes time for us to fall in love with characters in series and movies, because it's harder to fall for someone who is closed off,
mm,
who is not opening their heart, who does not express affection. And it's easy to fall for someone like that, right? Because you feel closer to them.
mm,
And sometimes, for example, in Last Twilight, let's say Last Twilight, we fell for Morg so much faster because he was open, he was trying so hard, he cared so
mm,
much. And with Day, it takes time, and it takes time for us to see how he opens up, how he needs experience in order to start trusting the world and start trusting and more can opening up. But here it's like they both suddenly are open, vulnerable,
mm.
just going straight towards each other, like nothing else matters. And I feel like what I'm trying to say is like I feel like I'm one of them. It's so easy to fall in love with these characters and be, you know, like a part of this experience.
Mm-mm.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's
I do,
completely
and I.
insane.
It's funny because, like, what you're saying about them being open. On one hand, I agree with that. They are, but it's more like, because clearly they both have like secrets from each other, but it's
Hmm.
like, which is not unusual when you first meet someone and everything. But the thing that I find that's really interesting is that, as you said, they're being quite open, but it's like
They're not using their issues as shields.
yeah, there's that, but also it's like, because like, okay, for example, with Prem, like Prem wasn't looking for a boyfriend. Like Prem is
Hmm.
just, you know, stumbling along through university life, finally getting to the place where he is like about to get to be able to do serious stuff. And he's got friends and he's quite content with his life, in terms of like, the most important thing is now he's getting to cook, like really cook. And so, even when he first meets Ten, he's not looking for that. He doesn't look at him in that way, really, until sort of, um, I think Dynamite brings it up. And I just think as well, like he starts to, because Ten is fucking adorable. Like, oh my god, Off is like slaying that. And he is like, he does kind of sort of, start to, I guess, target Prem's, heartstrings a little bit. And so it's sort of more like it's something like he stumbles into rather than something he was looking for or longing for or like desperate for
Mhm.
or whatever, like a lot of dramas, you know. and
Mhm.
and it seems like it's the same for 10 too, but I don't know, we keep getting these little hints that maybe there's more to it than that, that may be revealed later on. And clearly he is like a little love starved, you know what I mean? Like he is starved of affection and, care and everything.
I feel like with Off's character, with Tan, he's a very like logical creature,
Mm,
analytical one who thinks of himself as of a robot,
yeah.
and like it 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 doesn't make sense to him until it does, and once it does, he accepts it and he is just all in. I feel like I was expecting it to be for like this for him. Like the moment when it didn't take him long. He did not expect this to happen to him, but he is quite fast at analyzing what's going on and accepting that okay, this is what's happening and deciding that that's what he wants because it didn't take him much.
Well, it's so
That's
funny because we didn't really get an acknowledgement of such as of it. Like in the last episode, like
really.
before, like episode 3, we had his like
Uh-huh.
freak out. Like I can't like him. It's because I was playing tennis. Like like he ended that episode kind of like, oh, I must
No, I
react like
feel
a
like we
friend.
did actually.
Sorry.
I feel like we did. I feel like we did though because he what in the scene when he got ready for the date,
Oh
the fact
yeah.
that he refused to like tell his friend where he's actually going, like he was still not accepting that, he still had like was holding back.
Mm.
But the moment with the glasses, remember I told you that for me, like the moment he fixed his glasses was like
Oh,
fixing
you
his
said like he's going to
vision.
battle. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, like
okay, let's do
he
this.
decided it with himself. He's like, okay, yeah, I want him.
Well,
And everything that he does after that proves this theory right.
the beginning of this episode, like, is just, I love the beginning of this episode. The bit where when obviously he first sees Prem and we get the stars again. Like whenever he sees him, there's always like stars. Um, but then also Prem, um, like doing the thing where suddenly it's okay to lean into um Ted's, because he's told him it's okay, and to say to him, does
Hmm.
my hair smell? And I love that little nod to not me, by the way, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We
and so
love all the nuts to not be.
yeah, we love all
Give
nods
us
to not
more.
me. That's right. Yeah, give us more. Exactly. And just the bit where he's just like, does it smell? And Ten's like, and then he slaps himself because he can't
Oh,
get the
I love
words
that
out.
moment.
I loved it so much. It was played so well. It was so funny
You
because
know, when a television starts, like an old TV or an old electronic thing starts malfunctioning, and
yeah,
the
yeah, you
best
hit it. Yeah,
fix is just slap it. That's
yeah.
basically what she did.
He was like slapping a
Him being the
robot. Yeah.
robot. Uh-huh.
But it was so funny because like I was not expecting it, so it was like it was this sudden thing. So it was funny as well, but it was also
Yeah,
just truly like. But the thing that got me about it is that we got absolutely no reaction
no
from Prem
reaction. Yeah.
whatsoever. And it's like, so did it really happen, or is he just imagining himself? Like when you're like, I know, for example, myself, I do it all the time. Like I
Hmm.
offered to do something for someone the other day that I don't really want to do, but I'm a kind
Hmm.
person. I say that being like, no, it sounds like really bad, but anyway, I'm a fairly nice person, so I often offer to do things that I don't want to do. And so I'm offering this like favor to somebody, and inside my brain is going, oh my god, shut up, stop talking, because I'm like, yeah, no, like anytime, it's fine. But inside, my internal voice is like berating me to shut the fuck up and stop talking. It's like, you don't want to do this, so just stop talking. Why are you making it worse? You've already offered, they said no, stop talking. I feel like, was it a moment like that where he's just like, like visually we see it, but like it's more like he was mentally slapping himself? or did it actually happen and Prem is just like, he's such a little oddball, I love it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
This is his silence, and you're just like, yeah. I don't know. It was just one of those moments because I just laughed. So I think I laughed more at the fact that we got no reaction from Perm than Ten actually slapping himself, and I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, I was just like, why is there no reaction? So then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, maybe he really do it? But I don't know that the show's that deep, so he probably did. And as I said, Prem just probably thinks he's a special little cookie because he's been pretty odd so far.
Both
Like he keeps
special
doing,
ability
yeah,
cookies.
well, he keeps doing these like odd things, like just running off with no like explanation and whatever else. So
Uh-huh.
he probably just thought it was like one more of those things. But I kind of feel like
uh,
at the same
Same
time,
old Sam.
yeah, I feel like at the same time, these like weird little odd moments are probably the things that are endearing him to him as well, because he's just like, he's such a weirdo. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
he's so awkward in this scene, and like,
And then he gets in all like date mode,
yeah,
thinking of
should I hook him
helping
to
him
his
with the
seatbelt up?
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting on some romantic nano music. Oh, how weird it was for me to see that just one song was saved in that playlist. I was like, no, why? How?
I'm like, I know, I had
But
the
I
same
guess,
reaction because my playlists are like
yeah,
epically
I
long,
know.
and there's many of
Mhm.
them. We share a bunch,
Yeah,
so yeah, you know.
but I guess they wanted Nanon's song to be clear, so like you can see the
Yeah,
name clearly and
it
you
was
can look
it
it
was
up.
definitely a plug for that song from Nanon, which is a nice song, so good for him. But it was so funny. It was kind of, it made it even more. I felt like it made it even more awkward because it made it seem like he had picked
I don't
that
know.
song.
Was it awkward? I don't think it was awkward. I think it was just right, just the way it is on a date.
No,
But
no, I mean like
awkward, but
I
so
mean
cute and like.
I don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean like
Mhm.
all of his stuff was like awkward, like first date stuff, like the seatbelt thing, and
Yeah.
but the fact that he had this like playlist with one song on it, when it's like, and it's like,
Okay, I don't think we should read into this. This is probably just a thing. I think Ten listens to music and he has normal playlists. This is just
you
something that they
you
did.
would hope so, because yeah. Anyway, I did think it was, although maybe he doesn't. He is, as we just mentioned, a very special little creature who he says to himself, like he says to Prem later on, that like all he does is study basically. So maybe he doesn't listen to music. Some people can't, like I would listen to music when I studied and stuff, but I knew people as well who couldn't, like in a hermetically sealed room with like no noise and sound, and like even if they smelt something, like that was it, they were distracted. So I maybe he's someone who doesn't listen to music, who knows, but I did think it was funny. But I also
No,
had
I
to,
refuse. I refuse to believe that he listens to music. This is
yeah,
canon for me. He does.
I feel like he's
Okay.
probably got
Uh,
a playlist or something. You would think, I would imagine, for his character, from what we're sort of been shown and the way he kind of um is messaging his mom and keeps things and like does all this, you would imagine that he would have a playlist of like her favorite songs at the very least.
Probably. And then we also get him helping Bram with the chair, which was very, very sweet. And not awkward at all.
No,
It's
it
very,
was that to me, because
very
before
natural.
that, I'd forgotten that you said about the glasses thing in the last episode. I had actually forgotten you said that. So of course, I literally wrote a note after, when he was trying to thinking to himself about whether he should help with the seatbelt, and he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, Ma, are you sure? Aren't you just trying to be friends?" Like that was my comment. But when he
Mm-hmm.
pulled his chair out, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a date." And you could tell he
Okay.
thought it
Yeah.
was a date too. So it's so funny that he,
Bram was not aware of the fact that he was a date in the beginning, but he was quite aware of it at the end.
well, it's so funny too as well, because even like when we were talking about like how Ten does things and Prem's just like, like pulling out his chair for
Mhm.
him and stuff like that as well was kind of date esque, but like Prem's not doesn't really acknowledge it. Like he doesn't think it's a weird thing that Tan just did this for him.
Mhm, mhm,
Which I
mhm.
kind of loved in a way. Like he was just so hyper focused on what was about to happen. He was so excited for it, like, you know, for what was coming. Um, but and what I did love, you know, going back to the awkwardness of stuff though, is like I love the bit where he's thinking about doing up his seatbelt, and then of course like Prem's already done it, and he's just like, I'm just like, you don't need to do a commentary. Like I love that Prem does
Like
not
now
seem to think he's
he
weird.
needs to justify this moment, but not the moment when he slapped himself.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, yeah, explaining the weird sort of leaning slightly. Yeah, exactly. This is what I love. This is where the comedy was coming to, and I feel like it's good script writing as well because, like that's completely right. That is exactly the kind of the point I'm just trying to make. Is that this was something you didn't need to explain. You made it
Yeah.
weird by like talking about it. But still, Prem like no, didn't think it was weird. It's just so funny to me.
So they're at the restaurant, and suddenly it's not a date, it's a show. And Ram starts interacting with the chef, and he's a senior alumnus of his. I was just like a bit surprised of the fact that there weren't a lot of people there, but they said it was like a very fancy place that it was hard to get
I
um
I feel like this is one of those things
a
that
seat
I feel
in.
like this is one of those things where Jim and have just let it down. And this was my complaint in Last Twilight as well, when it was meant to be like the badminton game in the very first episode, where it was meant to be some sort of like national like um you know, championship game, and there was like 10 people in the stands, and it's like
Mhm.
couldn't you have just like put a sign out and asked for like strangers walking past to come in for an hour? Because I feel like I even feel like if you could have had like C and Jimmy's fans would have come for free and sat in that stand and cheered. Like it's so weird to me that they don't bother. Whereas like this restaurant obviously is meant to be an intimate thing, but there were empty chairs, and like Prem did say about how hard it was to get in there, and how like, you know, he was lucky because there was a cancellation. You would have expected at least all of the other chairs to have people in them, even if there was only 10 people in there. But like all of the
Mhm.
chairs should have had people in there. It was so weird to me. Like couldn't they have like spared a couple of staff or something? I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, I
So
did.
that chief was clearly got even more interested in Bram because, well, he's cute, first of all. Second
Yeah.
of all, well, when he heard his class, I guess he is getting assigned, or he is going to teach them. So, and he already knows that Bram is going to be one of his students.
Mm,
So creating a good connection is not a bad idea. Plus, I think he liked him because, of course,
yeah.
once again, Bram is adorable. And the interesting kitchen glove thing reminded me um, of the sneakers from Last Twilight. With
Yeah. Oh my god, the glove. We head for the glove, but
yeah.
that's okay. Yeah, the glove. When I saw that, I was like, oh, oh no. Especially because like before the glove bit happened, we were starting to see like, you know, just the back and forth of
Hmm.
um Ten watching Prem and the chef interacting. Um you could see the more he's watching, the more jealous he was getting. Like he was like, hang on a minute, what's happening here? This is not how my date is meant to be going. Like,
I wonder if it means something like um, Bram's old glove represents himself,
mm,
and Ten fixing it is like Ten supporting Bram and not actually expecting him to change or be someone else.
yeah.
While the chef giving him his own glove is like maybe in the future, like he will. I'm not saying this on like that he do it on purpose, but maybe try to transform or expect Bram to be someone else, or
Mm.
to do things in a different way, or to change his.
It's interesting because we know that more scenes with him are coming in it. We know from the trailer, both the pilot trailer and the more recent one, that Ten is going to see them together and get jealous. Like we know that that's coming. So there's going to be misunderstandings there. I did think it was interesting though that with the oven mitt, like he didn't say he wasn't going to use it. That was the first thing. So he had no intention of using it to cook with. And then when the chef said, no, you have to use it, he was like, oh, I'll use it to cheer you on each week then. And I did think it was interesting because when they were watching the show later on, the three of them, he did not have the oven mitt.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether that's just a mistake of like the production or whether that was on purpose.
We'll see. I'm sure we'll see more of it.
Yeah.
In the future. What did you think of Ten's reaction to everything that was happening?
I thought it was really funny. He was trying to pay for the meal because like he's
Oh,
trying
yes.
to pay for a meal that was basically meant to be Prem's gift to him.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was hilarious.
It was
that. I
definitely
noticed that
because
as well.
it was so
I just
funny.
find it hilarious the fact that he started just outright refusing to eat and like started behaving even more picky than he would be if that didn't happen, that whole thing that he got jealous. And then on top of that, he straight up like decided, no, I'm not going. This is not what I intended. I do not accept this as a thing that happened. We're going to another place to eat, and that would be the date. Like it's like he scratched this whole thing that
like, let's start
happened.
again.
Like no, yeah, no, this didn't happen. Nope. I just started from the start,
all
from the
over again.
scratch.
Well, it was just funny as well to me too that like Prem even took him to that place because I get like he was trying to take him somewhere nice. He wanted to impress him and all that, but like, dude, remember this guy is like the pickiest eater ever. Like, even though he says he's not, he is literally the pickiest eater. There is no way that this kind of restaurant is going to appeal to him. Like, it was such an interesting like choice. It was, and he took him there because that's where like that's something that he would love himself, and I guess he just wanted to share it with him, like, and that overrode the reasoning of the fact that he wouldn't actually enjoy it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was pretty funny how he was just like, yeah, this is not how the night is going to end. But it was so funny because he didn't tell him anything. He didn't talk to him. He didn't ask him. He didn't do anything. He just like, they basically got in the car and just, it was silence. Like, no wonder Prem was freaking out.
But I wonder, I had one idea. Prem said that was basically the restaurant of his dream. That was something that he wanted to do. But we know he has this, well, his grandmother has this restaurant. And is he going to end up wanting to actually work in that restaurant of his grandmother's and not create something new and fancy, but elevate something that is already there, just like with the oven meat?
Yeah, I did wonder that because I feel like off taking him to this place, which is basically one of those like rent by the hour motels, but that has this surprisingly really good restaurant attached to it. He's acknowledging the fact that Prem took him somewhere that he really wanted to go to, that he really enjoyed, and that he really wanted to share with Ten. And he did the exact same thing. He took him somewhere he really liked to go. So he basically did the exact same thing. They essentially took each other on the same date with quite different results. But with Ten's version, it was kind of a message that was like, don't judge a book by its cover. You can find the most
be yourself.
Yeah, you can find the most interesting things, in unusual places. You just have to have a good reputation. People just have to know about it, because that restaurant was pretty packed too. From that, actually, I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like there was more people in that restaurant than there was in the other one. And
I've got a thing to say.
Yeah.
And it feels very weird to say this, but I prefer the cut version of this episode.
What, the whole thing?
It feels wrong. Saying this feels wrong. I'm sorry.
The whole thing, or just this particular episode? Just this particular part?
maybe even the whole thing, like especially what jumped for me, jumped the the moment that I felt was done better in the episode, in the cut version, was the moment when they got to the parking lot in
Okay, I
the
haven't
of
seen
the
that. I
restaurant.
haven't seen the cut version, so you'll have to explain it to me.
Well, in the uncut version, they get there and Bram starts questioning things, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, tell me straight, tell me what are we doing here? I don't remember what exactly he says, but they have some kind of a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, Bram tells him something that he wants to eat, and then he grabs his wrist and drags him along with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I'm hungry already, let's go. And then we get the scene in the restaurant where Prem explains why he thought something weird was going to happen. He explained the jacket, he explained everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but in the cut version, they're outside. They set the thing, they set out the idea that like Bram thinks he's going to be get eaten or punished by 10, and suddenly they cut to the scene in the restaurant where they already ordering or something. Like, it leaves you thinking that Bram got in voluntarily, even though he was expecting something to happen between them, and then he's kind of like, okay, maybe disappointed. Who knows? I mean, he was ready. He got in. Well, in the uncut version, it feels like they explained the joke. Although I do like the fact that they they let us know the character better by having Pram explain the jacket thing. I feel like he's such an honest, disarmingly honest person
Mm.
character in the series, which is very charming, and it was missed in the cut version. But still, I feel like it was not needed. I feel like it was funnier in the cut version. You should go and see it.
I feel like potentially it's going to come back later on, and that's why it's there in the first place. I feel
Well,
like,
who knows? Just
yeah.
saying, at this moment, that version, the cut version, is funnier.
Mm. I,
It feels better. It feels it it makes it more interesting.
yeah. I saw a couple of theories kicking around on Twitter or Tumblr, I can't remember where it was, that the jacket might be the chef's.
Yeah, I think I had that theory as well.
Yeah. And also, and so that either he'll bring it up or something, which will really piss off Tan, or especially because now he knows the significance of it as well. And if Prem wears it again, like it'll be interesting. And also there's there's the whole sideline of if and when we see Dynamite wearing it, like what his intent, we know what his intentions are essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the way they shot the bit in the car where he was texting Samsi and Dynamite. Like, I love how they keep doing that. Like, they did it on the staircase at Prem's restaurant as well. And then I just love how they did it, and they had like Dynamite like squashed in between like the side of the
Yeah,
car, and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
his head
Yes,
half in
yes.
the steering, like not the steering wheel, the seatbelt and everything. And I just loved it. I feel like it's such a clever way of doing, like of
Transforming something that would be static and boring into an exciting experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it made it comical because they're like,
Yeah.
you can actually see them arguing, and the worst of it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just like, but yeah, and it's so interesting how insightful once again Dynamite was about Off's reactions and intentions to things. I mean, obviously he wasn't planning on eating Prem, at least not that night. He obviously understands like his feelings because he was jealous. He was definitely right about that. He was definitely jealous. It just wouldn't occur um to tend to punish him for being jealous, at least not in this instance, because clearly in this particular junction they're on different pages. Whereas I feel like it'd be interesting to see what Ten would do later on once they're on the same page. If he did something to try and make him jealous, like what the reaction would be. Um, whether or not Ten would just take him to a restaurant for whatever it was they were eating. But I did think it was really, really cute, and I did think it was sweet the way they both sort of took turns of essentially like losing their minds. Um, because after this bit we had the bits where they were like at home, and we got
Mm-hmm.
we got we got to see Ten like losing his mind, like on his bed where he's just like, why am I
Wasn't
smiling?
wasn't wasn't there the scene on the bridge first?
Scene on the bridge.
Yeah, when Tan walked Prem home.
Oh yes, of course.
I
I'm
love the
like,
fact that they stopped.
what scene on what bridge? I'm thinking, I'm getting confused because there's another bridge scene, but yeah, okay, but not in this episode. I'm just like, that scene wasn't in this episode. Yeah, sorry.
I
Yes,
love the
we're
fact
just
that
getting him home.
they stopped on the bridge to express, to open up a little bit and express their feelings while, backtracking, overthinking, but at the same time, they still did do it. And I love them stopping at the center of the bridge was like them meeting each other halfway.
Well, it's interesting too because this is not the first time that's happened as well. Remember they did it too when Prem basically told sorry, not Prem, Ten told Prem that he was worth, being his teacher and that he was a good cook and like all the rest of it. Like
Yes.
he praised him, and they were in the middle of the bridge, I think, when that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it'll be interesting to see if they have
but I
more
don't know. I don't know
conversations
if
there.
that one. I don't remember that conversation. I don't know if it has the same significance, but
No,
it
but
felt like this to me in the way it was filmed, especially
yeah, but I'm just wondering if this is going to be a place where they do this. You know what I mean? Like where they have these
confessions,
moments.
like their bathroom,
Yeah, yeah,
everything happening
that's
on
right.
bridges.
That's right. It's their bathroom. And it's an interesting metaphor of them, as you said, meeting each other in the middle, crossing that bridge to get to one another. Because essentially, if we look at them from the perspectives of their lives and their lifestyles and what their commitments are to their future careers and their families, and just everything is so different. And so they really are, if they want to be together in the future, are really are going to have to meet each other in the middle and overcome something. So it's an interesting metaphor.
I love their little confessions, and
Just the
I
way they
loved
look at
how,
each other and smile and stuff, it's so sweet.
yeah, they're so soft and vulnerable with each other, which is why like we get this
Yeah.
overwhelming feeling of falling along with them. And then
I feel
Prem
like,
being like, if you have good feelings towards me, I wouldn't mind. Or what did they say? Something like this, right? Basically, if you fall for me, I'm fine with that. You can do
well,
that. I'm fine.
it was cute because we had basically, and I feel like to me this was the real acknowledgement of not only 10 but also like him actually, I guess, trying to communicate this to Prem. And I don't know how well he did it necessarily, but this whole
But
conversation
he
where
did
he
it
basically,
well. They both like Ten walked away smiling, and Prem just ran into the house. I think
oh, they did, but
we
I'm
were
just
on the
mean
same
like,
page.
he's still, Prem is still not, I think, 100% convinced that, like, I don't think he really thinks necessarily that Ten likes him, but I think he feels good when he's around him. He's making him feel happy, you know what I mean? So, but I just mean like his whole confession about how boring his life was and how he's made it like, fun and interesting and bright and colorful and tasty and all of those sorts of things. And I love the language that, they gave Prem in this, where he says about like how he has I have good feelings for you too, doctor, or something like that, he
Mhm.
says.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, then 10 sort of says to him, I'm okay with that, if you have good feelings for me, I'm good with that, sort of thing.
Mhm.
It was very,
Mhm.
very cute, and I liked the wording because it was, like, you could say I like you too, or like, this has been fun for me, or like whatever, but I just liked the way they worded it. um
What I'm very curious about is their dynamic, because Prem is very direct and quite open and honest. And once, like, now that he doesn't have any bad feelings towards Dan, he is quite soft and kind,
Mm.
and like ready to make a step forward. And
Yeah, but
Prem
see,
is surprisingly, and Ten is surprisingly sassy,
yeah.
and stubborn when he doesn't get what he wants. Even in the conversations with Prem, I noticed it several times. Like he was like, "Yeah, okay." Every time when Prem says something that he's not really satisfied with, like he wants to get the answer that he wants to hear.
I feel like he's used to fighting with his dad, so that could be part of like his, I guess, his map for like how to deal with conflict, or like things when they make him feel uncomfortable. His automatic response is to sort of, I guess, like not argue, but like come that way. I don't know that I necessarily say I feel like Prem is like totally open, because we then have this scene where his sister is like, "Oh, you're totally in love," and he's like, "Wait, what?" And then she starts like going through the steps with him. It's not, I don't think, until he gets to like step 3 and he starts experiencing it that he's like really like, "Oh crap."
I feel like with him, he is open, but he's going to go back and forth because of his insecurities.
Yeah. I have to say, like, this whole bit where she's just like, "You'll start seeing him everywhere," and then they
Hmm.
like had all these different versions. I have to say the one I laughed the most at and my favorite was definitely the pregnant 10. I was just
everyone,
like,
every
really,
one of them was funny.
when when I heard the, like, you heard the, like, the, I guess, the conductor of the bus or whatever going, like, something like "make way for the pregnant lady" or whatever they said,
Mhm.
like, on the overhead speaker, I was like, "Oh no, they're gonna make him pregnant."
I feel
So
like the moment when the conductor started like screaming and be like, "Oh, when he doesn't want to pay, I'm going to smack you," or something like this. I feel like that was off improvising.
yeah, it was all very funny. And then of course we had the cute scene in the bathroom where he's just like, "Are you okay?" He's like,
That's so scary.
yeah, and he's like touching his face all over.
You want to
And
know why I want to cry when I hear the word bathroom? If you haven't watched our Dangerous Romance series podcasts or series of podcasts, it's a whole thing. But we're going to be very emotional every time something happens in a bathroom.
yeah, pretty much. That's right.
Me, at least.
I must admit, I didn't get
Oh,
emotional in this one. I was amused, but I was intrigued because once again we had a scene where 10 was very much okay with Prem touching him.
yeah, but also, what I found interesting is that the things that he did in the bathroom. By the way, the moment when he sees the message coming and then sees that Prem deleted it is not
Yeah.
present in the cut version. I feel like we're not missing much, other than the fact that if you know that he's aware of the message that happened, the things that he does in the bathroom are basically like some kind of weird flirting, checking Prem's pulse and getting so close to his face. Like, what are you trying to see there? Like, are you trying to see the sickness in his eyes, or that was him flirting? Someone deletes a message they sent you
Yeah,
in the situation they are in because they probably too anxious.
yeah. I feel like as well he was probably just a bit like he's acting weird. Like even the deleting the message was acting weird to him. Like he was like, "I don't understand.
Mhm.
Why did you do this?" Um but the fact that he ate like a full breakfast and then went and ate tens as well, I mean went and ate prems as well, it's like, me, I feel like it's funny because I saw someone say like, why would he do that, why did he eat it when he knew there was going to be a breakfast? It's like, well, he didn't, because Prem deleted the message, so he wasn't sure whether he was getting breakfast or not. So he ate because we know what happens when he doesn't eat. Um, and but when he saw the extra breakfast, he was like so down for it because Prem had made it for him. So He
And the
was like,
fact that he already expects Bram to feed him, from his hand, and gets so kind of pissed when it doesn't happen, and he looks so not satisfied with the situation.
yeah,
He's yeah.
extremely disappointed. So yeah, so they had their cute little breakfast. And I can't remember what happens next with that. That's
Oh,
right.
they had this conversation where he's asking him if
What he
Ten
wants to
asks
learn
him if
next.
no, Ten asks him if he behaves like this, if he cares about everyone like this, and Prem
Ah,
has to decide if uh
yes, I
be-
loved this little bit
between
where he had this internal monologue.
yeah, should I love Gun's voiceovers
Yeah.
of Gun's characters. I don't know. I loved the way White would, tell his story, not me. And this one is so I don't know why, because like the vibes are so different, but I enjoy his voiceover so much.
Mm.
And he decides to say that, yeah, only for you, probably, right?
Yeah, he's like,
And
oh no, I said the wrong thing.
yeah, and the translation and the translation says basic that 10 repeats probably, and he is not satisfied with the world probably being there.
Mm.
That's what I got
Yeah.
from this. And 10 is trying to remedy the situation and asks what they're going to do, what 10 wants to prepare on their next session.
Mm.
And 10 is like, I am busy.
Yeah.
So I think this is the first thing that maybe upset Prem, and then stuff just kept piling up.
Yeah, well that's right. Because his thing when he said, I'm busy, and then his immediate reaction was, oh, I said the wrong thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's probably also the case that like he maybe hasn't dated or anything really, because he's always either been looking after his sister or helping his grandmother or trying to achieve his dreams, just like Prem has. I don't know. There's a lot of dating going on between them with others either. So there's
I don't
probably
know.
they
I
seem a
don't
little
want to assume.
no.
I don't want to assume Prem hasn't dated anyone, because he doesn't necessarily feel like someone who's never dated to me. Like he feels like a character who has been on dates, who does know what's happening,
Oh, I
and
don't mean that
he's
he
more
doesn't know.
chill
I
about.
just mean like this kind of like when he's actually like just the sister saying, oh, you're in love, da, 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 going through the stages, and then explaining them to him, and then him
Maybe he's
ex-
never been in love. Maybe he
yeah,
has
maybe
dated
it's
people.
in love.
He's
Yeah,
never been in
maybe
love.
maybe in love is the word I'm looking at. So
Yeah.
because this second guessing thing and that they're actually both doing um is interesting, maybe because it's funny because they're being, as I said, it's very easy, and it seems like so easy and everything, but also at the same time they're both taking it quite seriously. That's why they're having these
Oh,
moments
but
where they
also we forgot to mention the fact that he Ten saw Prem before that. Remember, we were like last episode, we were kind of, not disappointed, but surprised by the fact that, nothing happened. They had no connection before they met when the
oh yeah,
series
because they made it look
starts.
like that, and we were like, oh,
And
but we were
we,
so sure.
yeah, yeah, we were sure that like something was there, and yeah, yes,
He had seen
he
him.
was really there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that time. He was in safe mode.
Yeah, he wasn't ready yet. Yeah. And you know what? If it wasn't for their interactions, he probably still would be in safe mood. He would be waiting until,
Yeah,
until maybe he'd
something have
finished
to
studying or
happen for
something.
him to snap out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, very, very. I did forget about that moment too, and I did think it was really cute. I also read something about that. The director said that like Gunn was meant to be playing with a dog, but like the dog wouldn't cooperate, so he gave him his daughter instead, and like of course she just loved Gunn, so like it worked out really well.
Yep. And so, but it's funny that Tan says, "I will stop inconveniencing you at the end of the date," and the way he flirts so hard with Prem during that lunch break, or I don't know what that was, breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah.
Was it not? Yeah, and Prem still is so insecure and panicking and getting upset because he flirts so much.
Yeah, but I think it's
So,
just like he's overthinking things, and then when he gets like a negative response from um from 10, and also don't forget he still has this thought in the back of his mind that he has a girlfriend or he has whatever, because they haven't had that conversation, like it hasn't been cleared up as such.
maybe he assumed that he had misunderstood something.
Yeah.
Oh, and also another moment that we did not mention, we kind of jumped over it, is the fact that Ten managed to fall asleep
Oh, without
without
the
the
metrodome
metronome.
going. Yes, I did notice
Yeah.
that. And I'd never put a note. I didn't note it down because I was like, first off, I was like, how do you spell metrodome again? And then also, and also, I was just distracted by like how adorable like that whole bit was. But yeah, that was really, really interesting that for the first time in for however long we have to imagine, that he just fell asleep and he was content. Um,
He even fell asleep on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Like the whole thing was just, yeah, I loved that scene actually. Thank you for remembering it.
You're welcome.
So yeah, and so then we had Prem and his sister, who I keep calling him his sister because I cannot remember her name, and I keep wanting to call her Pim, and that's Gun's sister's name, not the character's name. Um, do you remember what the sister's name is?
I know.
Nah, see, well, I'll have to look it up for next episode, but yeah, I can't remember. Um, all I can remember when I like want to try and reach for her name is Buttface, because that's what that's what Prem calls her.
What?
Buttface.
Buttface?
Yeah, because Prem calls her Buttface like at least twice during the series, like so far. He's called her Buttface twice, I reckon. And so,
Peng. Paeng or Peng? I'm not
okay,
sure.
yeah, I'm not sure. We'll work it out before next episode.
Mm.
But yeah, so when they're at the market, and she sees 10, and she says to Prem, "Oh, Ten's here. Do you want to go and say hello to him?" And he's very like, "No, let's go."
Well, because he has been confronted by the bullies who addressed the fact that he's teaching someone and like pushed all the buttons. The fact that he is, getting money out of 10, the fact that he doesn't really know what he's doing and yet he is like, it's like scamming or something.
Mm.
He feels guilty, he feels upset, he feels like he's not good enough. So, yeah,
I think it's all that, but
definitely.
I also think it's a combination of one, like if he really was there, then he said he had plans and that he didn't really want to see him on that day. So he's
Mhm.
going to, honor that. But also he probably just like there's probably a little bit of him. He's just like, he's not going to be here. He hates it here. Like he 10 and this market don't really go well together. Like there's no way he'd come here, sort of thing as well, because he didn't actually see him, I don't think, when he looked up.
We're assuming when you feel bad, when you start doubting everything, suddenly you believe in the things that you're worrying about. Suddenly they feel real,
Yeah.
even though like there's so many arguments that um, demonstrate the fact that you are not right. When you are down, the one negative argument wins.
Yeah.
The fact that Prem 10 actually doesn't want to be around him, that 10 isn't actually interested, that 10 didn't want to spend time with him. So he is surprised when 10 appears at the restaurant.
Yeah, the fact that I'm so curious, because it's like I hope we're gonna get some sort of like flip side to what his thought process was for all of this, because this is so weird to me. I'm like, what is this boy doing? Like, why would you say you weren't free and then go, and clearly he's gone and got like ingredients. It looks like he bought Prem flowers, which is super sweet. But he's gone and done this thing, which is essentially, as you said, brought up Prem's insecurities, which he's not to know, I guess. But still, he's done this thing where he's, as I said, essentially brought up his insecurities, um, and it's like, who's to say that like Prem would even have been free like after telling him, that he didn't want to, or he was too busy, or like whatever. So it's like, I just want to know what his thought process is. Was he just like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna
too.
surprise him with a date? Like,
Me too.
like what on earth was he thinking? I really hope we're gonna see like a little flashback or something of like him coming up with this plan, and like why, why are you doing it this way? And also, I actually wouldn't mind seeing a scene of him at the market by himself, because clearly there's something about that market, or something about, there's something happened when they were there that triggered him majorly, and I want to know what it was. So I'm very curious to see how this is all going to go down. But I mean, the way he just turned up, he's like, I'm here, and like, I bought flowers. It's just like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain this. One thing that is clear is that he doesn't want it to be one of their lessons. He wants it to be
Like a
something
date.
else.
Yeah.
Maybe, but maybe I'm wrong about that as well. Who knows?
No,
I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't
think so. To me, the flowers indicate date, not lesson.
know.
And the fact that he said, well, because hang on, if we break down what he said he didn't want a lesson, or he couldn't have a
Yeah.
lesson because he already had plans
Oh.
or something to do. I can't remember exactly how he worded it. So he was
Yeah.
already like, oh, we're going to have a date, or we're going to like do something. So he had this thing obviously in his mind already. Um, and as you said, I think you're absolutely spot on, and that did not even occur to me, that he does not want this to be a lesson. This is going to be, and I feel like I want to say, when I said that, I feel like I want to say, let this be a lesson to you all. No, sorry,
But
bad,
but
bad, bad Zoe
if
humor.
he appeared there expecting Bram to be available and Bram to want to spend time with him, even though they did not plan it together, he's very confident.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is very much true. Like, I feel like Perm completely has it in his, um, like in his right to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not free, I have plans. Because, like, it's like that thing where, I remember I remember reading it in a book once, where there was like this douchebag guy that this girl liked, and she asked it's like she you know got up the courage to like ask him out. And it was like a, I don't know, like Wednesday or something in the week or whatever, and she asked him out, and he's just like, look, I don't, Friday's 100 years away, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, kind of thing, and blew her off. And then,
Hmm.
no better offers came along, sort of thing. So he rocked up at her house Friday night to take her out, and she's just like, what, you think I don't have plans? Like, do you think I was just going to be sitting home waiting for you? So if we get if we get a similar sort of response from Prem, I wouldn't hold it against him, but I feel like it's just going to be really cute, because I mean, there's a kiss that's happening.
Probably because Pram is upset and seeing him show up for him is going to make him feel better. So maybe he won't push
Yeah.
back against this development.
Well, I feel like depends, like, if I feel like also it depends if uh Ten is going to explain himself. Like, if he says to him, I didn't want it to be a lesson, I wanted it to be a date, or to be like, I wanted us just to spend time together, or like, I didn't want it to be a thing where you're like paid to spend time with me, or something like that. I feel like that would be like, if I was Prem, I'd be like, yeah.
What if he just shows up, leaves the flower and leaves?
Maybe, but I feel like, I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily out of character. He is a bit of a weirdo.
But he does want to spend time with him, so I doubt it. But Zoe, the way my jaw dropped when I saw the kiss in the preview,
I know.
like,
I was not expecting it. Although we should be like, I feel like we should be like documenting and making like a little, I don't know, like, there's always been, well, for as long as I've been watching BLs, and especially like with GMM, I mean, I feel like it's across the board actually, but like especially with GMM, that you knew that like episode 11 was
mhm.
like the death episode. Like you knew that they were gonna like
Yeah.
rip your heart out in episode 11. Like it
Mhm.
was just a thing. Like everybody knew that. You
Yeah.
had to expect, like, even if things were going along all wonderful, like tra la 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 la, you had to know that it was all going to go to shit in episode 11,
Mhm. Mhm.
to come together for episode 12. And if you were really unlucky, it would be episode 10 just to throw you off the scent. And then you would get screwed, or there would be 13 episodes and they would do it in episode 12, but you knew it was around that time you were going to get your heart screwed. I feel like we've
Yeah.
noticed a couple of things in the last few podcasts we've been doing, whether it was
Yes,
from
we
Dangerous
have.
Romance to Last Twilight to now, that certain things are happening in certain episodes, especially in these newer
Yes.
ones. um
Yes.
and so
There's a new structure. Yes.
yeah, so I feel like, because next week's episode 5, realistically the kiss probably shouldn't have happened until episode 6, right? But then this one is
But then this
slightly
is,
different, because they're
yeah.
both, as you said, they're both going like head first into it, instead of one being more like, oh, I have feelings, than the other. Like at this point they both know they have feelings. So
But still, I did feel like this episode was the falling in love episode.
yeah, like this was more like episode 5 instead of episode 4.
No, episode 4 for me is the falling in love episode,
uh
actually. For Last Twilight as well, and for
yeah,
Dangerous
it
Romance.
was too. Yeah, episode 5 is the confusion episode, but it doesn't really seem like next week is going to be the confusion episode, but maybe it is. I mean, they've
I
shown us.
mean, yeah, they showed us a part of the episode. What if at the end of the episode, Tan's dad, like, finds out that Tan is, spending time with Prem, because they did do kiss outside of his house, like in front of
Mm,
the gate. Maybe his dad
yeah,
sees him.
I did actually wonder if whether or not the father's issue is going to be the fact that he's wasting his time with him, the fact that he is like from a different world from them, or the fact that he's a guy. Like I'm wondering where they're going to go with this, because GMM tend to steer away from like parents who are, you know, homophobic or whatever. I mean, you don't see it very often. Um,
Hmm.
but it could be where they're going to go with it. It's hard to know, or it could just be that he's. I feel like probably it's just going to be that he doesn't want this person distracting his son in any way, shape, or form. And he's going to use the money and the lessons as the way to sort of try and stop it, even though that's not the true reason he's worried. Like the lessons, I don't feel like they're the reason he's worried. It's the fact that um Ten is distracted by like his feelings.
Hmm.
So you're probably
Also,
right.
I
He
think
probably does witness the kiss.
I think it's so cute how they alternate in walking each other to their houses.
Yeah,
If
I
that's
know.
what's happening, I'm like, cute, cute. And also, I don't think that is the first kiss.
No,
I
I
doubt
feel like,
it's even the second kiss.
yeah, I feel like this the kiss that we saw very much does not look like the first kiss. Um, Mainly just because Prem is like already puckering for it. So I feel
Yeah, it doesn't happen when Tan pulls Prem back. I don't think this is how it's cut in the
yeah,
episode.
it will be interesting to see, because if you watch the trailer, not the trailer for next week episode, but like the actual trailer, it
Hmm.
that scene is in the trailer, and
Hmm.
he like Ten says something to him and like kind of turns around, and then they're standing there facing each other and like talking. So that also could be after the kiss, though. It's hard to know, because once again it's all about how it's cut. But there is a couple of
Hmm.
really cute moments that were in the trailer for next week that are also in the trailer for this show. So I feel like we've actually seen a good chunk of what's in that trailer. This is probably the next section of stuff, and then you're starting to get into the stuff where it's like gets complicated. So
But you
it
know what's funny? They started lying to us in trailers.
yeah.
Have you noticed? Because I remember in Dangerous Romance, there's this scene from episode 11. There was a line that wasn't
Oh, from in the
exactly
shower.
just,
Yeah.
yes. It sounded one way in the episode and another way in the trailer, and also in Last Twilight. In episode 4, in the trailer, there's a scene where Morg puts his, like, they're in the car going back from the bar after Morg sings for Day, and Morg puts his head on Day's shoulder, but in the actual episode we see Day resting his head on the Morg's shoulder.
I never
So
even
they're
saw
lying.
that.
They're lying.
I never noticed that. Okay, nice catch on that one. Although one of us is more obsessed than the other. Marilla.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that. Okay, well there you go. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because so it's like, are we going to get lied to here? Is what you're saying? I feel like we
Maybe, yeah,
might.
because it's weird though, because I feel like they're doing a very good job with the trailers lately,
Yeah.
but I don't. I don't think it's needed for them to change things. So it's interesting that they do.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, in
Or maybe they just
I
changed
know in
and they don't
Danger.
know. Like they
Yeah.
changed it after the trailer is made. They decide to change stuff. Change the way they edited the episode, and then it's just like, whatever.
Well, I mean, I know in Dangerous Romance, the wording made it more interesting and more kind of heart wrenching the way they did it in the actual episode. So I feel like they did that on purpose. And I feel like if you're talking about it being Mork with his head on the shoulder versus Day with their head on the shoulder, to have Day with his head, it's there's this understanding there that the vulnerability has like been opened to Mork. He trusts Mork like implicitly
Mhm.
to take care of him when he is actually extremely vulnerable. So I feel like that is a better choice as well. I feel like they might be doing it on purpose. And I really would
Yep.
not at all be surprised if we do get lied to in the trailers from this one, because
Mhm.
Pinulek worked with Pinucci, and she was the queen of destroying you with the trailer and lying to you with trailers. Because there were a couple where like it was scenes from the 2 weeks time, like you got to the episode, this bit this wasn't even in this episode, like you
Mhm.
would be waiting a week to find out like what was going to happen there, and it wasn't even in that episode, and it's like, dude, how could you do this to me? And she was just like,
So cruel.
yeah, right. And it was just like, it's so evil. So I would not be surprised at all if it happens to us. I feel like she might have learned a thing or two from Pinucci. And if it seems to be a trend, I would not be surprised at all. So I'm really, really curious about next week's episode. Actually, there was lots happened in the trailer, like lots and lots and lots of bits that I did not expect to all happen in the same episode.
I guess no. I think if the trend is like, if we notice the trend, something devastating is going to happen at the end of the episode.
Yes, that they're gonna have to work through in episode 6 to get
Mm-hmm.
to their happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be bracing for that. I feel like that might be the trick to this one, because everyone is so bamboozled by that kiss. Everyone is just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna kissing! Oh my god!" And then it'll be like, "Oh my god, there's blood everywhere," and we're all freaking
Blood
out.
everywhere. Blood everywhere.
No, you know what I
That
mean?
someone
Like,
else,
no,
another neighbor dies.
no, yeah, yeah, no. I mean more like they're like ripping our hearts out left, right, and center. Is the blood
Oh,
everywhere?
oh, just us. Okay.
Yeah, just ours. So, not actually on the screen, just ours. But yeah,
Who
I feel
cares
like
about us? They don't. They
no.
want to hurt us. They want us to relax and then hurt us.
The more they hurt us, the more we're like, please, sir, can we have some more?
Yep.
Yeah. So, all
I
right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say about Prem and Ten?
No, that's it. Let's talk about Dynamite and Firefly.
Yes.
Firefly.
Bye bye. So I thought
Firefly.
it was really interesting. I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure we probably see them before this, but oh no, maybe we don't. This scene where Fire and Jane are having their hot pot and
Yeah.
Dynamite just crashes it. Um this scene, I noticed a lot of things in this scene. So the first thing is when Fire opens the door and he gets a good look at Dynamite, he has stars around his head, just like when 10 looks at Prem.
Mm-hmm.
So Fire is seeing stars when he looks at Dynamite. So that's the first thing, which I thought is interesting and worth noting because clearly, yeah, when he looks at him, he's seeing stars. He's not seeing like annoying things. He's not seeing whatever. He's seeing the same sort of twinkling stars that Ten is seeing when he sees Prime.
Do you mean literally? Because I don't remember seeing literal stars.
Yes, there are stars.
There
The
was
animation.
stars?
Yeah, there's animation. Oh my god.
What?
When this is finished, watch that bit. Yes, when he first opens the door, Dynamite has stars, like animated stars around him.
Seriously?
Yes, literally,
Okay.
just like the beginning of the episode when Ten looks at Prem. Yes, for real.
Okay, all right. All right.
And so because of that, I was like, huh, interesting. They don't stay there for very long. He gets angry pretty much straight away. But like his first look at him, like when he first opens the door and sees it's him, there are stars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, wow, okay. Because clearly they're trying to tell us something with that. Um and I also thought Jane's reaction to their like banter and their like arguing and stuff, um she's watching them very very carefully, and she's watching um Fire really carefully. And it's funny, I've seen a lot of different posts online where people are talking about like how she changed her mind really quickly, like, you know, she like if suddenly she doesn't like him, was it because of the mother, blah blah blah. I think she just realizes that Fire likes Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think happened in this moment, in this scene.
I just checked the stars. They're
Yes.
there.
Yeah, I know,
And
right?
I don't know. I feel like this was done more in a comedic way because he appeared all happy, and it's like it was expected that we'd have the same reaction that Stan had, but Fire's reaction is to close the door.
Yeah, no, but I don't. Yeah, but that is his reaction to him in general in regards to like
You're right.
if we're
Mm-hmm.
if we're looking at it from the which I assume we're meant to be because of the way it seems to be panning out, that he does like him, but he doesn't want to like him.
Another thing that I thought was interesting is that when someone knocked or rang the doorbell, um, Jane intended to go open the door to check who that was, and Fire's like, "No, no, stand back! Who knows who's there?" Blah blah. And then he lets Dynamite barges in,
Mm.
and when the second time someone knocks at the door, Fire's like tells Dynamite, "Go check who's at the door."
Yeah,
Like
he says
he's
something.
okay with
Yeah,
Dynamite doing that. Yeah,
that's
like
right.
he's the second owner of the place. Like you can feel comfortable. You can open the door. I like trust you with this or something. Like maybe that wasn't a trust you with this, but it did feel
I
significant
feel like
that
it was a
he asked
trust.
for it.
Yeah, he says I can't deal with anyone else right now because I'm still like frustrated from dealing with you. Basically, is kind of what he says. But like,
Mhm.
and that's when Jane sort of looks at him like I feel like she knows, but he. It's funny. I do feel like it's a trust thing as well because multiple times, and Dynamite does it again in this episode. Even though he's like driving Fire absolutely crazy, a bunch of times he has done things that's kind of like saved him is the wrong word, but like, you know, getting her number, um, you know, just he keeps doing these little bits and pieces. Like he shows he kind of has Fire's back, I guess. So maybe there is a bit of a trust thing there, and then he shows that again, like when the mother turns up the apartment and he turns up and like basically says Jane is his girlfriend, and um you know, like he protects Fire, even if it means that maybe he'll end up with Jane.
Yeah. I also thought the line, "Can you offer me? Can't you at least offer me some friendship?" was powerful in that moment
Yeah,
when he was trying to get Dynamite to leave.
yeah. He's just yeah, and I also think
And
I
it's
do.
interesting that Jane was the one who asked Dynamite to stay,
Yeah,
who suggested we should stay.
yeah.
So
Well, because I think that
she,
she's just just thinks he's a funny junior who like is like Fire's friend and they're just likes to
Yeah.
give him shit. Like I feel like that is just kind of the dynamic she thinks they have. But she watches Fire very closely and I feel like she starts to realize what the rest of us are realizing is that, you know, the lady does protest too much.
It
But
was
also,
quite sudden though.
sorry?
It felt a bit sudden, as if something happened outside the,
Well, I
you
feel
know,
like it could be a
frame.
combination of like her suspecting that he likes him, but also the bit with the mother and him like not wanting to stand up to his mother and like all the rest of it
Yeah,
probably.
but that happened later.
Oh
She
yeah, yeah,
first told him that,
yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm
but I'm
not
just saying
interested
like
in him. And then,
she that didn't it too? No, but him
yeah,
like
because
trying to hide.
it's a bit weird because like she goes to his house, she's there, and she doesn't really take Dynamite that seriously.
Yeah,
And then suddenly she's like, "Yeah, I'm not interested in you." It does feel like something happened.
yeah.
I
I feel
wonder
like
what it was.
Yeah, I feel like maybe, as I said, I feel like maybe she's just got an inkling of like what's actually going on, but also the fact that he like made her hide as well, like probably didn't feel great either. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's just the
Mother,
sorry.
the mother is infuriating.
Oh,
Like
she's so
I,
annoying.
yeah, it was hard to stand her.
Like
I mean,
she's
I understand like
psychotic.
she had to yell because Dynamite had to hear her from this, uh, neighboring apartment to come and rescue Fire. But oh my god, that was so annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, like, sorry, just to go back to because I just want to. I've been the whole time I've been sitting here talking. I've been thinking about what you said, where you said you thought the stars were for comic reasons. I don't think they would have used the stars because they could have just had him open the door, seen him, and then just close the door, like, and it still would have been comedic, whatever. I feel like the stars were there. I feel like it's pointed that the
It's
stars
like
were
it's
there.
coming. It's like this crush, this love is coming to him,
Yeah.
coming for him for Fire, and he's fighting back. He's trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
ignore
yeah.
it.
I feel like he's like he opened the door and he was like, "Nope, not today."
Well, this is comedic. This is comedic. This is what
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see like if he does start to see the stars like with when he does come across him sort of thing. Um we know he sees him a couple more times in this episode and we didn't see that from him, but then it seems to be sort of more from Dynamite's perspective later on in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
episode.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, so we have him like stick up for him and basically and then just and he does he just like basically sticks up and then like leaves kind of thing and doesn't
Hmm.
like give him a hard time or whatever. Like Fire actually like seeks him out and brings him some sang milk because of course he does.
Of course.
Yeah. And so they having their sang milk and the way he apologizes essentially and that he had to
Hmm.
take like her nagging and being mean and horrible to him or whatever and he's just like it's all right, I'm used to it. But the way that Fire is looking at him in this scene, I was like so intrigued by it. Like I love Neo in this scene. um he starts out like he looks he's kind of confused and the more he's listening to Dynamite talk the bigger his kind of like when I say bigger because it's only like a little sort of sly kind of small smile but like it just
Hmm.
seems to start beaming brighter if that makes any sense. Like it's not a big smile. When I say the bigger it gets I just mean it's brighter to me. um and like he smiles so sweetly after Dynamite confirms that he acts like a complete nutter because he likes Fire so much. It's like, dude, you're not meant to be liking that.
Well, he melts.
Yeah, he
He
does. It totally
melts.
does. Yeah. So
I
it's
gotta
like
say,
I did like as well how like Dynamite's like, I know it's not the right thing. It's totally crazy. It's blah 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 blah. And he's just like, well, why do you do it? And he's like, oh, because I like you so much.
I
So
gotta say, sometimes Dynamite's character knowing things feels a bit like writer's clairvoyance.
yeah,
But in this moment, the way he looked at him and smiled and bumped him with the shoulder because he saw Fire's reaction and he understood and he acknowledged with his smile that he understood what was happening. That was so charming. I was like, I was not that into the character, but right now the way he did that, the way he played that moment,
Mm.
like the actor, why he was chosen, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I
he's
get it.
very endearing. I find he's
Very
very
good.
endearing. And
Hmm.
I think as well, like, and I think you and I at least I think we have this conversation sometimes. Sometimes I imagine things. Um but I feel like we talked about, I think I said to you in the middle of the, like, couple of days ago or something, that I was gonna say in the middle of the week, it's like literally Wednesday, so it would have been like a couple of days ago, that I feel like Dynamite has this quiet maturity that we're going to actually see come out more and more. Whereas,
Hmm.
we see him acting crazy and being loud and like all the rest of it, but like his insights with Prem and Ten, and just even like this, like there's this maturity to his actions here, going and helping not only Fire but Jane out of a really awkward and embarrassed. I mean, the way his mother is talking to Jane like she's some whore when she's like literally went there and
Yeah.
had like dinner, you know what I mean? Like the way she's talking. So he kind of rescued both of them essentially. Like he was a really good friend. Um
Hmm.
he didn't go in there all like, how dare you? Like, why are you talking? Like he didn't act like a crazy in front of her or anything like that. And then even this, like afterwards, he's just being, calm and sort of just telling him, like, I know, like sometimes I'm behaving badly, and like he has this, I feel like, and it's gonna, I think, help Fire come out of his shell and like also grow up a little bit, because even though Fire is, older than him and everything, he's definitely not the mature one. If if the two of them do end up in a relationship, he will not be the mature one in the relationship. I feel like it's going to be Dynamite is going to have this quiet maturity. I feel like we're seeing shades of it, and I, for all the stuff that like probably is like making people a bit like uncomfortable or whatever, the little bits
Hmm.
that we're seeing of him, of this quiet maturity, and this like the bits of him that are endearing, are like really making me kind of like really enjoy their storyline.
Hmm.
And I feel like if it had been written a little bit differently, where we had Fire kind of, um, you know, being really uncomfortable and everything, then I would dislike it. But it's more like he's just being loud and just like, it's I feel like it's just he's so afraid of like doing anything that's off his like to-do list, I guess, that, like his approved activities given to him by his mother. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
he's so shady about like trying to deviate from any of that. And like
Hmm.
Jane is probably, well, clearly she's not suitable according to the mother, but she's probably way more suitable. I feel like his mom is gonna have way more problem with Dynamite than she ever would have with Jane. Um,
Yeah.
but then I guess it will depend. It'll depend on how Dynamite affects Fire and the way he, interacts with his mom and sees the world and, does things or whatever. So it'll be
These
interesting.
characters are so well defined right now. I'm very curious to see them change and how they influence each other's
Well,
change.
it's funny because I can kind of see, I feel like we may end up having a moment where like Fire is so frustrated with his mother or something, just being like, I don't know why she's like this, and being like really angry at her or whatever. And like you said, like it's hard to like her. She's not a likable character at all.
Yeah, what if he stands up to his mother to defend Dynamite?
Well,
Dynamite.
I can see that, but I can also see Dynamite being in the same vein of saying to him, like I could see them having a big fight in front of Dynamite, and
Hmm.
maybe Fire saying something really horrible to her, and Dynamite being like, "Don't talk to your mum like that," because
Hmm.
I feel like he's gonna come from the point of view of someone who like really likes Fire, really cares
Hmm.
about him, and he knows like his mum is crazy, but like he knows that she's coming from the same place maybe, and so like she's going about it the wrong way. Like she's clearly like, you have to have a goal, you need to be able to, take care of you. Like she's doing it from that crazy mother, like, I want you to be able to look
Helicopter
after
parents.
yourself. Yeah, yeah. And so like I feel like he may be the approved son-in-law, because he'll be like, don't talk to your mum like that, she loves you, like what are you doing? But also like backing him about like different things, you know, if it turns out that like Fire's like, oh, I don't really want to be a pharmacist, or you know, whatever. Like I can see Dynamite like fully sticking up and being angry and like, you know, having his back. But then at the same time, if like Fire oversteps the mark or whatever, like with his language or whatever, I could totally see Dynamite being like, hey man, you can't talk to your mum like that. Like I can just see
What
how
I
he
like,
could sympathize with her in that way.
what I like about the series is that it doesn't feel like it's easy to um predict. It doesn't feel predictable.
No, I don't really. As I said, I honestly don't know. I'm a bit like you. I feel like they're lulling us into a false sense of security. And any moment now, something terrible is going to happen. Probably next week. It's meant to be next week, right? If it follows our plan, it'll be next week. But that will just be that'll be the terrible thing. Like that'll be like terrible light. Like it'll be the terrible thing, but the light version, because the heavy bad version's coming later on. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like we have the potential. I wonder, in actual fact, if we'll have like some confusion maybe next week. Like it'll be more like, you know, maybe Prem getting jealous, and maybe not Prem getting jealous, Ten getting jealous of the chef, and Prem like needing some sort of confirmation about like what's actually going on or whatever, and the confusion
Mhm.
about this mystery person on his Instagram. And then the bad stuff will be with the father later on, because it seems more like he's going to see something or do, you know, whatever, witness something, or just get frustrated with the amount of time that Ten is spending with Prem. He's obviously going to warn um 10 off of whatever he's doing or whatever, because we have that scene where he's like, you know, don't tell me you're still spending time with him, and then he hits him and everything. So I think I said the other day, I don't know how long this podcast will be, because honestly, I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna have that much to say besides, oh my god, it was so fucking cute and I'm in love. Because we haven't had any big drama moments, we haven't had any big moments to really theorize over. I mean, there are a few things. We're assuming once again that this girl is his mother, and I feel like that's a fair assumption. um
Yeah.
but we just like,
Yeah, it's his mother, and so what? Like, what is going on? Like,
yeah,
what's wrong with
I
the
mean the
father? What
mysteries, and
happened? What?
it's like it's, and of course I guess this mystery with that, isn't there, isn't it? You know, is she dead? Is she missing? Is she like,
I feel like
does she not
the thing
remember
with the
him,
dad,
you know?
yeah, the thing with the dad might be like not the biggest problem. Like, I don't think this is the biggest, well, obstacle that they have to overcome.
Yeah.
For Prem personally, probably we have the contest.
Mm.
Besides that, maybe the issue with the restaurant that they must somehow like rescue rescue the
Yeah.
restaurant. Can I be said? For Prem, it's not really clear. Something related to the mother for sure.
Mm.
For Fire, the thing with the mother, I feel like this can get resolved quite quickly and not be dragged until the end of the series. So I'm not sure.
Mm.
And with Dynamite, he also has to have something. Like, why is he alone? Why
Yeah.
is he so young and alone?
Mm. And he's young too, like to be off on his own, and you know, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I I feel like we really just don't know enough to be able to
Hmm.
like theorize even, sort of. So we're kind of in this weird limbo.
We are doing it, but we know we're not doing a good job right now.
Yeah, I feel like we can't really predict things. We just don't have enough information. We're just along for the ride at this
Mhm.
moment, aren't we, really? I did have a question for you, because it made me think of it while you were talking about the competition and stuff. So what did you think of the bullies and the way they like taunted them? Like, what do you think was the purpose of that for them? Because the one who's in charge, he basically says to them, you better um apply, and you better like do better. Like he's basically
Mhm.
daring them to apply to compete against them. Like he wants them to compete against them, which I thought was really weird at the
Well, if
time.
you think about it, I think we talked about the first time they bullied them. They feel threatened, and they
Yeah,
want to,
but I
like,
feel
if they do not participate and like this competition does not exist, like it's weird that they feel like they have to prove to themselves and to the other, to everyone else, that they're better, because this is what
yeah, I feel
I
like
feel like they're trying
they're a
to do.
challenge. Yeah, they see them as a challenge
Hmm.
because we saw the bit where they were taunting basically um prem previously about the fact that,
Hmm.
you know, he's already kind of semi-professional because his grandma owns a restaurant, blah blah blah. But and it was also mentioned, I think, at some point as well about Sam C's family owning restaurants, but it wasn't really clear, I don't think, until this moment that like his parents owned this restaurant that like essentially he could be taking over. So there's two of them who essentially already have the potential to
Hmm.
have their own restaurants, which is a pretty big deal and not an easy thing to come by in any society. Like I know in any sort of if you look at like any sort of place, trying to open a restaurant and have a successful business is not an easy thing. A lot of it's like word of mouth, a lot of it's like reputation, and if you're just a nothing nobody from, and it's really hard to get that started. So if you're able to just like walk into an existing one and like make it better or make it yours, then that's like a big thing. So you've got two of them who basically already have that. Then you've got this kid who is like, not only did he skip year 12, but he went all the way to like year 3 or whatever of like classes. Like he's not he's already like ahead of them kind of thing. Like he's already
Hmm.
smarter than them necessarily, you know. So it's
Yes, and they also look kind of unprofessional. They mess up. They look like a mess. And this team of people who like don't know what they're doing, like they're better than you, that must be infuriating.
yeah. So, but it's interesting because the whole time he's like kind of belittling them, he's also
Hmm.
acknowledging the fact that they have these strengths. And I
Hmm.
guess that that's why he is taunting them into competing, because they're, even though he's like, you're beneath us, on one
Hmm.
hand, they're also saying that they're worthy adversaries. So it's kind of, I thought that whole scene was like really interesting, but also kind of like
Yeah,
really weird. So,
yeah.
but
I agree.
yeah, because we didn't actually get a scene of them like even talking about entering or anything. I mean, you obviously assumed that they did, and that's just like their dream. But like, it just went to them being like super serious and getting bullied about it, basically, from them seeing that it was going to happen. So yeah, it was definitely kind of one of those moments where I went, okay. But as I said, thinking about it later, I was like, it was interesting because they really did were kind of, he was really kind of, I mean, the other two are just basically wastes of space and just like mimic things that he say. I don't really think that they're that bright, really. But he's clearly clever because
Hmm.
he used like wordsmithing to sort of like both
He
insult
uses
them and also
their
compliment them at the same
weaknesses.
time.
He
I'm
knows
sorry.
their weakness. He knows their
Yeah.
weaknesses.
Mm. But he's also, as I said, he's also very aware of their strengths as well. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was quite interesting.
Do you think that chef guy that they went to, that's going to appear and teach them to the one who wins the contest all the time?
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to actively pursue Prem?
I don't know. I really am not sure, like, or whether he's just going to like take him under his wing, sort of thing. I kind of feel like, I don't know why. I feel like he's going to be like, it's going to be like he's into him, and I'm not really sure why I think that. I feel like I saw something either in the pilot trailer or the other trailer that makes me think it, but I don't remember what. What do you think?
I think maybe, yeah. But I don't know, like sometimes they tend to create these characters who are not,
The villains
especially in BLs. I'm sorry?
that aren't the villains we think they're going to be.
Not that, but you know how there are dramas who have a second lead
Yeah, yeah,
who is in love with the main character, and they're so good that everyone falls in love with them, and they kind of like get upset with the fact that the heroine, for example, like chooses the main guy and not the second lead.
yeah.
So that I do not really remember something like this happening in BLs, although I haven't watched many of them.
No.
Do you know? Do you have this experience?
No, I can't think of one in particular
See,
where I've
and it's
gone.
like they make them like you don't really believe that they're in love. You're going.
Yeah.
It's they're making it like a thing. For example, like he actually had like an old crush. Like he wasn't really seeing you. He was seeing what he wanted to see, or like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like not serious usually. So if they actually introduce this character, who's so far like he's kind of cute, and if he is serious about Prem and he actually has feelings for Prem, real feelings that we believe in, it's going to be a love triangle.
Yeah.
And
I don't
it's kind of new.
yeah, I don't see them doing that honestly because Prem doesn't feel that way about him. So um and I feel like
Well, they never do, but it just as I'm saying, it happens in K dramas, for example, but I haven't seen it happen in BLs. And if
no.
it happens, it's gonna be a first.
Yeah, I feel like probably it won't, and the main reason why I feel that way is because I feel like we haven't seen enough of him yet. I feel like if we'd seen more of
Mhm.
him before now, then maybe.
We saw him on TV.
Oh yeah, but
Oh my
very,
God, the
very,
moment I
very.
forgot the moment when they were watching TV was so tense and so dramatic and epic. I was laughing so hard the
Oh
way they
look,
did
as
it.
I said, it reminds me of every like sort of like reality reveal show ever. You know, like the American Idols and the you know someone's got talent ones and all that where it's like and the winner is and the person with the least amount of votes is once again the
Yeah,
person
but like
they say like takes them like
he
20
has
minutes to get the
5 more
answer out.
minutes.
It's like
Everyone was screaming
yeah,
like
it's like I'm
it
gonna
was
go
so
and
bad.
get a coffee, I'll be back in a minute, tell me if they announce who wins while I'm gone. You know, and you get back and you've made a coffee and you baked a cake and they still are doing the like lead up to who won.
Yeah.
I feel like it was that. So I feel like they did a really good job of like expressing like the tension though in it. Well,
Mhm.
with the boys. So just to go back to whether or not he would be a second lead. I really hope they don't because I mean I believe I said to you in the last Twilight podcast I hate like love triangles and things like that. I really am not a fan of that in any drama, and as you said they do that a lot in K dramas. It usually really pisses me off.
Mhm.
So I must admit they used to do it a bit in BLs, but it would always be a girl. Like it's
Mm.
not usually another guy. Um,
Mhm.
and in actual fact, usually like even though like the two guys were the main characters, the guy who was I guess in love with the person who was with the girl for a while or whatever would almost was almost kind of like the second lead, but that did end up getting the person. You know what I mean? Even though they were
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
main lead. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I guess they could go there, but I don't think they're going to because I think feel like the drama is going to be more like something that we're not necessarily going to expect. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's the
Yeah,
reason.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
No, I feel like that's the reason why they kind of been a bit cagey about the whole thing. Is I feel like we're not
Mhm.
meant to know. I
Mhm.
feel like we're meant to suspect the father, the thing with the father's going to come up. We're meant to suspect the jealousy of the cook. You know, like they're leading us in those directions so that when this actual thing comes out, I feel like we're going to be just as surprised. Like if it's similar to what we're shown in the pilot trailer, where like Prem is like so kind of upset by this thing he finds out or whatever,
Mhm.
I feel like we're going to be in the same position. I think we're going to meant to be in the same position where we're like just as shocked as he is because we didn't see it coming. Like if they manage to
Mhm.
do that, like if they manage to do that and like freak us all the fuck out, this will be like brilliant. This will be so I mean it's already really good, but this that will make it like epic because I love being surprised. It doesn't happen very often, but I love being surprised. So I would actually I'm looking forward to being surprised. Come on, you can do it, Cooking Crush. I believe in you.
So this is it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Follow us on Tumblr, on Twitter, on Spotify. Give us a rating. Like on YouTube, you can listen to us. Thumbs up. Let us know if you like it.
Yes, please let us know if you're enjoying it. It's always nice to know. We can see, like, obviously we can see analytics. We can see people are listening and things like that. But we don't know if you're enjoying it. We don't know if you're just
Mhm.
listening and one and you're done. So yeah, it'd be great. And also it wouldn't have had to subscribe to us to our channels to things, only just because yeah, I'm the one who posts the links, and just in case I ever forget to do something or something isn't right, at least you'll know when a new episode's been uploaded. In case Zoe has an epic fail. It's possible. It can happen. Hey, stop laughing, Morella. She's laughing because she knows
What
it's
else
true.
can I do?
Yeah, she knows it's true. I'm feeling personally attacked right now. Yeah, so you should
I'm
definitely do that
okay.
if you don't want to miss an episode.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.